My mother said, I understand you spent $720,000 to rescue our home, but we are transferring the house to your sister as a wedding present. Then my sister chimed in, and don't show up at my wedding. I smiled and asked, Dad, should I break the news or will you? His fork fell, and that was just the start. A week later, her perfect day changed. My phone vibrated with 60 missed calls. Hey, read it. While growing up, I always thought loyalty was the essence of family. My parents drilled that into us like a mantra. Family comes first no matter what, always. I clung to that until the day they turned it against me. It all began one quiet Sunday afternoon, the kind where sunlight glimmers on the dining table and everything feels slow and serene. I thought we were simply having lunch, but my mother cleared her throat with an earnestness she used whenever she wanted to sway feelings. Sweetheart, she said kindly, your father and I need to discuss something with you. My stomach nodded, the tone that always meant one thing. They want something, but I never expected this. Mom leaned on the table and clasped her hands as if she were delivering news from the heavens. I know you spent $720,000 to save our house, she started. And we truly appreciate it. I nodded slowly. That money wasn't just a little. It was my entire savings from a decade of grueling work, working 2 jobs at one point, countless sacrifices. But when they faced losing the home I grew up in, I didn't hesitate. I thought they'd be thankful. I thought doing the right thing meant something. I was so naive, Mom continued. But your sister is getting married soon, and we've decided to give the house to her as a wedding gift. It will mean so much to her. I stopped breathing. I blinked. I stared at her as if she had just told me the sky was green. I'm sorry, Dad whispered.
He didn't look at me.
He poked at his food as if he wanted to vanish into the plate. Mom beamed, as if she had just revealed a birthday surprise. She deserves it. She's starting a new life. Her husband's family is affluent. We want to impress them. Besides, you're doing well for yourself. You don't need the house. My heart raced. I paid for it. Yes, we know, Mom said, waving her hand. But these matters aren't about money. They're about family and image. Before the shock fully set in, my sister, who had been texting quietly, looked up and added nonchalantly, and don't come to my wedding. She shrugged, sipping her juice. No offense, but you always make things awkward. Since the house is for us, it might be better if you're not there. I felt my world shift. Heat surged through my chest, up my neck, into my face. And you're okay with taking the house I saved? I asked, my voice trembling. She rolled her eyes. Oh, please. You're being dramatic. You act like you aren't wealthy. You'll be fine. We deserve this. I'm getting married. My mother nodded in agreement. My father remained silent. That's when I turned to Dad. Dad, I said quietly. Should I tell them? Or will you? His fork clattered to the plate. Mom frowned. My sister looked puzzled. Dad froze like a statue. They didn't know. Only he and I were aware. My sister scoffed. What are you talking about? Dad swallowed hard, sweat forming at his temples. I gave him one more chance, one last moment of mercy, but he looked down.
He wasn't going to say it.
Fine, I whispered. I'll tell them. My sister leaned back, annoyed. Tell us what? I exhaled slowly, the kind of breath released when years of hurt have built up inside. The house, I said softly, isn't just saved. It's not even in Mom and Dad's name anymore. She blinked. What do you mean? I looked directly at my sister. It's in mine. Her forehead furrowed.
No,
Mom and Dad said. They lied. I interrupted. Dad transferred the deed to me when they were about to lose everything. It was the only way to protect the property from creditors. I paid off the mortgage because I had to as the owner. Mom's expression twisted. You deceived us. Did I? I didn't deceive you, I said firmly. I saved you. My sister slammed her hand on the table. So what? Give it back. It's mine now. It was never yours. Yes, it is, she shouted. Mom said so. Mom turned to me, outrage seeping into her voice. You're being selfish. You have money. You'll be fine. Stop ruining your sister's life. I laughed bitterly, a hollow sound. You're calling me selfish for not giving away a $720,000 house as a wedding gift. Dad finally spoke, his voice shaking. Can everyone calm down? No, I interrupted. Not this time. My sister stood up.
Fine.
Don't come to my wedding. I don't want you there anyway. I wasn't planning to, I replied.
Her jaw dropped.
You're unbelievable. I just finally learned to stop being your doormat. The week after the explosion was oddly peaceful. For the first time in years, my phone wasn't buzzing with demands, manipulations, guilt trips, or emotional blackmail. I worked, I slept, I breathed. It was the first time I felt free. I even started to feel a little hopeful. But peace doesn't last in a family like mine. Because 1 week later, the nightmare began. My phone started buzzing at 7:14 a.m. Once, twice, 3 times, then 10, then 20. By the time I finished brushing my teeth, I had 32 missed calls. By the time I made coffee, 60 texts from Mom, Dad, my sister, unknown numbers, voice notes, messages in all caps, each one frantic, each one panicking, each one demanding I respond. My hands trembled slightly as I stared at the screen. Whatever happened, it was significant, very significant, and I hadn't even opened the first message yet. My phone continued vibrating on the counter, rattling against the marble like a trapped insect. 60 missed calls, all from people who usually only remembered I existed when they needed something. I didn't want to answer, but something, intuition, dread, maybe even closure, compelled me to swipe open the latest message. It was from Dad, a shaky voice note. His voice cracked immediately. Sweetheart, pick up. It's your sister. Something happened with the house. Please call us. The house? Of course it was. My chest tightened as I finally called back. Mom answered before the first ring even finished, her voice frantic and trembling. Oh, thank God. You need to come here right now. They're taking the house. They're evicting us. They said we don't own it. Her words spilled out like broken glass. Meanwhile, a tension rose in my mind, a slow, inevitable chord as the truth snapped into place. They're not taking anything, I said calmly. The house was always legally mine. You knew that, but you can fix it, she screamed. Tell them you gave it to us. No, I said softly. I never did. Behind her, I heard chaos. My sister crying, her fiancé shouting. My dad arguing with someone at the door. Mom lowered her voice, harsh and pleading. You let strangers insult us in front of the neighbors. How could you? A bitter laugh escaped me. How could I? Mom, you tried to steal a house I bought. You planned to give it to my sister like a gift. And when I said no, you kicked me out of your wedding and called me selfish. That was before, Mom snapped. This is serious. Your sister's wedding is this week. Her in-laws are coming to stay here. They'll think we're trash. I closed my eyes. There it was. Not regret, not apology, not accountability, just fear of humiliation. Fix this, she demanded. You owe us. I took a breath, steady and cold.
No, I said.
I don't. They pleaded with me to come. Not because they cared about me, but because they were cornered. Still, I drove over. Not out of sympathy, but because I wanted the truth to be revealed in full light. When I arrived, eviction officers stood at the door, calmly explaining the situation. Dad rushed to me first. Please, he whispered. Just tell them it's a misunderstanding. It isn't, I replied. Mom stormed forward next, eyes wild. You're ruining your sister's life. No, I said. You ruined her life by teaching her that she's entitled to other people's possessions. My sister finally stepped out from behind them, her mascara streaked down her cheeks, hair disheveled, veil accessories still pinned from her rehearsal. You're evil, she hissed. You did this because you're jealous of me. I blinked, then laughed. Jealous of what? A man who's marrying you for the house your parents tried to steal? A wedding you can't afford without draining me dry? A future built on manipulation. Her mouth hung open. I stepped closer. You told me not to come to your wedding, remember? She stiffened. Well, I said softly, you got your wish. Her fiancé came rushing out then, face red, furious. You told me this house was yours, he snapped at my sister. Your parents said it was a family property. My sister looked at him like a trapped animal. Well, it was until I saved it, I corrected. Until I paid every bill, every debt, every cent your parents couldn't. And they wanted to give my house to you. Her fiancé froze. You were giving away a property you didn't own. She opened her mouth. Answer me, he shouted. She burst into tears. He stepped away from her as if she were toxic. You lied to me. My family booked flights. We planned everything around hosting them here. He turned to me. Can this be fixed? Can I pay something? I shook my head. It's not about money anymore. Mom threw her hands up dramatically. Oh, great. You've ruined everything. Her wedding, our reputation, our family. I looked at all of them. Really looked. The people who raised me. The sister I once loved. The family who chose to betray me the moment I became useful. And I felt calm. Completely, beautifully calm. No, I said softly. I didn't ruin anything. I gestured around. This is what happens when you build a life on greed. Dad sank onto the front steps. Please, can we talk? He whispered. Just you and me. For the first time, his voice didn't sound angry or demanding or disappointed. He sounded ashamed. I sat beside him. He rubbed his face. We messed up, he said. I messed up. I should have stopped them. I didn't respond. He continued, his voice trembling. You saved us, and we repaid you with betrayal. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. My chest tightened because I believed him. But an apology doesn't erase consequences. I forgive you, I whispered. But forgiveness isn't the same as forgetting. He nodded, eyes misty. Behind us, my sister wailed as her fiancé drove away. The eviction officers finished their paperwork. Mom paced on the porch, muttering about humiliation. Everything felt oddly still. Dad looked at me desperately. Will you let them stay? Just until after the wedding. I stood. No. Mom gasped as if I had slapped her. This is your family, she cried. I met her eyes. I'm done being the sacrifice. I turned, walked to my car, and didn't look back. As I drove away, my phone buzzed again. But this time I didn't check it because for the first time in my life, the only voice I was listening to was my own.